What is it like to live in the dorms off at a college or a university? What is it like to share a room with another grown ass adult? Being a grown ass adult yourself, what's it like to live in a box with two beds and two desks and two chairs and two closets? Sometimes the closets connect and you don't really have your own closet space like you want to. Okay, I'm already getting into what it's like. Okay. It can be trash. It has its perks. Going off to college, it gives you an opportunity to find, independence. And I'm not going to sugarcoat anything in this video. For all the young ones out there that are curious to know what it's like to live in the dorms and what it's like to go off to college and what it's like to live on your own. I personally never lived in my own apartment, but I have went off to school and lived in the dorms, and I've had 3 different roommates, 3 different years. And I'm just not going to sugarcoat anything. So if y'all don't really want to hear the truth, I advise y'all to click out of this video. So first of all, my first roommate brought boys over, and that I did not like, because sometimes, when you get out of class, you just kind of want to just have your own space and not have to really look at a human being that doesn't look familiar to you. Sometimes you just want to go into your own space and do your own thing and not have to see anybody that you don't know in your personal space, okay? And my biggest issue with living in the dorms is lack of personal space, okay? I know that all colleges is different as far as the space goes, but at my university, those dorms was small, okay? And it was just like a box. It's like a tiny box. It's actually smaller than my bedroom right now. And that's 2 people living in that room. And for me, I gotta be honest and say that, I kind of felt depressed. Like I went through a little bit of a depression, and I had a lot of anxiety and a lot of frustration living in the dorms. Because I just felt like, your homegirl ain't got no space to sing, because I love to sing and do music. Your homegirl ain't got no space to create. Your homegirl ain't got no space to, talk out loud to herself. Because, okay, I like to talk to myself out loud a lot. Okay, I like to talk. I need alone time to talk to myself out loud. And I never had that, because my first roommate was an introvert like me. Which, as the years go on, I find that I'm not as introverted as I used to be, but I'm still very introverted. I still have strong needs to be alone and to not be looked at, okay? And my first roommate, we got along. It's just that I just didn't like that she brought dudes over, and sometimes you're just not prepared for that. Sometimes you just don't want other people in your space, and I feel like it's great, for younger people who don't really have a need to have their own personal space. Like, it's cool just to have that experience, but the second time around, you get kind of tired of it, and the third time around, you just like, fuck this shit, I'm done. The second time I lived in a dorm, it was a different dorm building, different roommate, and that roommate, she was cool. I got along with her, but she was messy, okay? And I don't do messy, okay? And the thing with the thermostat, oh my freaking goodness. She needed to run the thermostat at like 0 degrees, and I'm freezing. Like, I'm a small person and I'm anemic, so I'm freezing my ass off every night. And I'm like, how can you stand this? Like, she was so like her temperature, her body temperature must have been really high or something. Like, I just wasn't used to that. Okay, like, I don't understand how you always need to run the air cold no matter what time of the year it was. She ran the air cold all year long. Like, I would change the thermostat when I was by myself to a little bit warmer. And as soon as she came in, she just couldn't handle it. It was like she was gonna die if the temperature was too high. She just couldn't handle it. And I kind of let it run cool, because I don't know. I'm too nice. That's why I let it run cool. Second roommate, she was chill though. We got along, at the time, I didn't have a car. I still don't have a car. And she drove me. She would sometimes drive me around to Walmart and stuff like that. We would take grocery trips. So she was pretty nice, I was cool with her, She was a Sagittarius with an Aquarius moon. Okay, yes, I'm into astrology. If y'all if y'all have not seen my astrology videos, go check that out. I have almost 4,000 views on my Why Scorpios Are So Sexy video, which is very exciting. And the first roommate was a Cancer, by the way. Yeah, she definitely like screamed Cancer. Like, she just she had that, she was kind of like stuck in her Cancer crab. Yeah, her not cancer. She was kind of stuck in her cancer shell, her cancer crab shell. You know, she's very introverted and kept to herself. My second roommate was a Sagittarius, so she was more, she was more out and about. She was hardly ever in the dorms, which I loved. I loved that she was hardly ever in there because I had so much more free time and space. And I guess that's why I thought that I could do it again, because the second time, it actually wasn't a bad experience because she was hardly ever there. So I felt kind of like I had my own dorm room. I'm not really thinking about the fact that your next roommate, honey, is gonna be different. And guess what? She was different. She was introverted like my first roommate. She was my sign, she was a Taurus, with also an Aquarius moon. Funny. Yeah, I get my roommate's birth chart and everything because I'm just that type of person. I'm an astrology geek. I will literally ask my therapist what her zodiac sign is. Yes, I had a therapist. Yes, I asked her what her zodiac sign was. I remember her being a Sagittarius with an Aries moon, but that's another story for another day. And I bet y'all don't even know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all don't know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, too bad. Anyways, my third roommate, she was mostly quiet. Like we had good communication. No, we didn't. Let me not no, we did not. I got that confused. We did not. We would talk and it was chill, but she just got on my nerves. Like I don't want to like talk like let me just be real. I keep like being like I don't want to talk shit. I don't want to talk shit. But I got to be honest, okay? Cuz this is my life. Okay? And the truth is that every time we talked, she would talk over me. And this may seem like a tiny, whiny, unimportant thing, but no, not for me. Because I've had too many friends to count that would talk over me and act as if what I was saying didn't matter and that their life and their problems was more important than mine. And I have just dealt with it too much. It was a huge problem for me. So she had that same habit that I had had a reoccurring issue with. And so I just stopped talking to her because every time we talked, she was so like self-centered and would always talk about herself. And I just didn't have the patience to point it out to her and try to hash things out or get along. Like I'm just the type of person where if I just don't vibe with you, I'm just not going to say anything to you. I'm just going to sit back and just do me, and I'm just going to be quiet, And we was chill until guess what? The very like last day of move out day, like until the day before the move out day, like we got along until then. And I had this huge like explosion where I cussed her out because she was being very disrespectful to me on my birthday of all days. On my birthday. She knew it was my birthday. She knew. Okay? And I hadn't talked to my family in a long time because I had been away from home. I don't have a car, so I couldn't drive home whenever I wanted. And I was off at school for 4 months away from my family, and I wanted to talk on the phone or video chat. I wanted to video chat with my family on my birthday as a birthday gift. And guess what she did? She was a bitch. Okay, she was slamming stuff around, breathing and huffing and puffing and getting an attitude and making all this noise, and I couldn't hear my family talking on video chat because she was making so much noise and just throwing a huge temper tantrum. At age 18 years old, throwing a huge ass temper tantrum like, you are a grown woman. Calm down, okay? So I was pissed, and also I was on my period, So whenever I'm on my period, shit's about to get crazy because I lose my mind when I'm on my period. And I was really pissed because, like, it was my birthday, and I wasn't in a good mood already anyways, and I was just trying to talk to my family who I hadn't seen in so long, and she knew I hadn't seen them in a long time, and I just thought the whole situation was shitty because she had the opportunity to visit her family because she had her own car and she visited her family every weekend, and she thought it was just this huge deal that I was talking out loud on video chat with my family for like a minute. I mean, everybody's gonna have a different perspective to this. Some people will be like, oh, it's rude to talk on the phone out loud with somebody else in the room. I don't give I was about to cuss. I'm trying not to cuss. At the end of the day, I hardly ever talked out loud on the phone. It was just this one day. I was always very respectful of her and always very polite towards her, and I felt that it was just like a huge slap in the face. It's like, that's just why people get on my nerves, because you can just be so nice to people and then they turn around and just take advantage of you. So that's kind of where I am at this point in my life. Like, I don't even want to be nice anymore because people always just take advantage, and when you're nice, they're going to assume that you're going to always continuously be nice no matter what shitty thing they do. And I'm at this point where I'm like, no ma'am. No, ma'am. You cannot just be a bitch and expect for me to be okay with that. Like, just throughout the whole year, like this whole recent year of living in the dorms, I was miserable. Like, I really was dying to film a YouTube video, but I never had the space to do it. And I was dying to just be able to have space to create and do art, and I never really had the space to do that. I mean, yeah, I could go to the library, but I mean a space where I could be by myself. Like, if y'all are not introverted, y'all will not understand. I need alone time, and I never had alone time. Okay, yeah, sometimes she would leave for the weekends, and I would have the dorm to myself, which was nice, but she didn't do that every weekend. It was like some weekends, so I never really knew when I was gonna, get the dorm to myself. And it's just, the whole situation is just bull crap. Okay, if you want to know the truth, some people can do it and some people cannot, and I'm one of those people that I cannot do it, and I refuse to live in the dorms ever again. On the plus side, I did meet some people in my dorms that were good friends that we hung out. It was easy and convenient for us to see each other and hang out because we all lived in the same dorm building, and most of us lived on the same floor. So there was social perks to living in the dorms. And also I love that I didn't have a curfew. Your homegirl didn't have a curfew. I was so excited. Like not having a curfew and not having to worry about being home at a certain time, and not having to worry about, asking your mother, can I hang out, or telling her, not asking her, because I'm 23 years old. I'm not about to ask for anything. I'm about to tell you that I'm leaving. It's a really good feeling to be able to hang out and just do whatever you want, and your parents don't know where you're at and who you're hanging out with, and you get to just do what you want to do, and grow, like, gain some independence. And I feel like going off to school, it has its perks as far as figuring out who you are goes. Going off to school helps you to gain more of an identity of your own. I always felt like growing up that my identity was kind of attached to my family, and because me and my family are really close and we kind of do everything together. We kind of we always moved everywhere together, moved from state to state together. I shared rooms with my sisters, shared freaking bathtubs with my sisters way when we were kids. So it's just kind of like going off to college. Definitely, I don't regret it. Let's just put it that way. I do not regret going off to college. But there was some times when I went off to college that I was miserable and I was just dying to go back home. I felt homesick. Sometimes, sometimes it can just be really stressful to always feel that you need to make friends, because you're in this big institution where there's people everywhere. There's people your age, and you feel like that you need to be social all the time and make friends, or else you're doing something wrong. That's how I felt. I felt like I need to always be social. I need to make friends, and I wasn't catering to the fact that I'm an introvert sometimes, and sometimes I just can't. I can't do it. Sometimes I need to be alone. And throughout the whole experience, what I've learned is to take care of yourself when you're off at college. Is to have fun. Make sure you have fun and get to know people. Don't get stuck in the dorms. Don't allow yourself to get stuck in there and get too comfortable. Don't get too comfortable in the dorms. Go out, meet new people, have an adventure, but don't stress about it and don't force yourself to go out if you don't feel like it. So those are things that I've learned. I've learned to take care of myself, and to keep into consideration that I'm a mixture of both an introvert and an extrovert, and to take care of both sides. Once you start to feel that feeling that you need to be social, go be social. Once you feel that need to be alone, go be alone. And it's that simple, but my crazy brain complicated things. It made me feel like there was something wrong with me always wanting to be alone, or made me feel that there was something wrong with me always wanting to be social. I just kind of had an issue with balance as far as how I felt about my needs and stuff goes. I've always kind of had issues with, trying to understand what I really need in life. And sometimes, I've learned that there's some things I actually do need, and I need to not ignore that. But I still ignore my sexual needs. Yes, your homegirl is celibate right now, and I'm gonna make a video about celibacy. I'm just a little bit nervous about making videos about sex because, my mother is gonna watch these videos, so it's just kind of like, I don't know. Do I want to make video? Because like family members might watch it and then they might see a side to me that they've never seen before. So I am probably gonna make a video. If y'all want to hear me talk about celibacy versus having sex, if y'all want to hear me talk about that, but I know what it feels like to want sex really bad but not have it, or to not want sex at all and to just be celibate. And that's where I am right now. I don't really want a man or a relationship or sex or anything like that because I'm just too wrapped up in my career, but yeah, there's so much more that I could talk about in this video because I have so many different experiences going off to college, different experiences with, sex and friendships and, just all types of stuff, and the struggles that I've gone through, working, what do you do, like dealing with work and dealing with schoolwork and trying to juggle those two at the same time and trying to just make a balance of your social life and your work life. College is a trip. It's a trip, I'll tell you. You'll meet all types of different people off at college. You'll meet weirdos. You'll meet some spiritual people like me. I'm very spiritual, so that was cool. I've actually gained a few really good friends from college that, I definitely am glad that I've met. There was a period in my life in college where I hung out with people that just wasn't really the best for me. And I'm going to make videos all about those, but that's all I have for y'all today. This video, it's going a little bit over time. I don't want to make the video too long, but I just want to kind of vent about that. Living in the dorms is not all it's cracked up to be. In the movies, they always make, clips about people partying all the time and like, throwing parties in the dorms. None of that happened in my dorm. Maybe in other people's dorms, like the lit colleges. My college, I don't feel like it was that lit. Like I'm in the state of Tennessee, so no, my college was not lit. Okay. And I didn't really go to a lit college. I don't think my college is lit, but we didn't do all that, like I went to some parties, but no, like we didn't have parties in the dorms like that. Like no, never. TV lies to you. They always try to act like that you're gonna go off to college and just party. But you can do that, but you're gonna end up failing, and then next thing you know, you're gonna have to like drop out of college. So it's kind of like the hardest thing about dealing with college is juggling schoolwork and your social life. That to me is the biggest challenge as far as going off to college. And there are other challenges. I will talk more about this because like I said, there's so much that I could talk about with this because I've gone through a lot of different things with this whole situation. This is kind of like a little bit slightly, I wouldn't say in depth, but it's going a little bit into what I felt going off to school and everything. But that's all I have for y'all today. I'm going to make many, many more videos. Message me on Instagram and, my DMs. Direct message me on Instagram and ask me to just whatever you want me to talk about as far as college goes and sex and friendships and relationships or whatever y'all want to know. If y'all feel like that I might have some insight that y'all could learn from, just go ahead and send me a message on Instagram and let me know because I have a lot of stories to tell. I just don't want to spill all of my tea before I'm ready, or I don't want to spill all my tea when I don't know that y'all really give a fuck. So like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit that notifications bell next to the subscribe button. Bye-bye.